in the year 2018. This movie is based on a true story. Before starting the film, make sure to subscribe and like this video. The movie begins with a woman named Dolly, who is married to a wealthy businessman named Prick. After the marriage, Dolly got everything she wanted: money and a lavish lifestyle. However, her husband never gave her the respect she wanted. Prick loved her and gave Dolly everything, but he never loved her like a husband loved his wife. Whenever Prick came home, Dolly would do everything he said and do all the work. Meanwhile, somewhere inside, Dolly was tired of all the work. And she was feeling bored in her life. The following day, Dolly wanted to work in films. Her husband never let her go anywhere alone. And that's why she couldn't fulfill her dream of becoming an actress. She was spending all her time at her house working. On the other hand, she couldn't leave her husband because she was used to her husband's money and good lifestyle. One day when Dolly goes to her husband's factory, she meets a young boy named Ito. He was 15 years younger than Dolly. And he was working as a machinery repairman. When she gathered all this information about him at home, she deliberately damages the machine at home because she knows that Ito is a repairman and he would come to her house to repairing her machine. The next morning, Dolly tells her husband about the machine and he sends Ito to her house to repair the machine. After some time, Ito came and fixed the machine. And when he leaves, Dolly deliberately damages her machine repeatedly so she can ask Ito to come to her house and fix the machine. And because of that, Ito comes to her house almost every day. The following morning, when Prick goes out of his house, Ito comes and meets Dolly. They had started a romantic relationship. They were coming close. Deep down inside, Ito knows that what he is doing is wrong because he is 15 years younger than Dolly. However, he was in love with Dolly and wanted to have a relationship with her. That day they get intimate and start an affair. Meanwhile, Dolly was happy with Ito and wanted to have a family with him. Moreover, Dolly couldn't leave Prick because she wanted his money even though she was not happy with him. She knew that no one could give her that money. And that's why she couldn't leave him. In the following days, Dolly and Ito would meet and get intimate almost every day. And because of their regular meetings, Dolly neighbors had started doubting them. To avoid her neighbors, Dolly lies and says that Ito is her stepbrother. However, Dolly knew deep down that she couldn't hide her after for long enough. And the next day, she had an idea to keep Ito at her house. Dolly takes Ito to a secret room in her house. And that way, Dolly could live with him all the time in her house. She makes rules for him so her husband never knows about him. She tells him that he will never go out without her permission and won't make any noise at night. The rules were hard for Ito, however, he had to accept the rules because he was in love with Dolly. And they continue living together. 9 years have passed like that. Because of so many years, Ito would get frustrated, sometimes living in a secret room. And somehow, he would control himself because he knew how. Prick behaves with Dolly and Ito doesn't want it to bother her. He will spend most of his time in the room and whenever he has time, he will read novels. On the other hand, Dolly also knew he was getting frustrated because he hadn't gone out in a long time. And that's why Dolly takes him to a secret bar at night. However, he gets scared when Ito sees so many people after a long time. Because for 9 years, he was alone, as if he was in prison, and that's why he was losing his mental stability. And he had no other place to go. That's why he was living with her. At the same time, Dolly was planning something to get rid of her husband. The following day, Dolly buys expensive insurance for her husband so when he is gone, she won't have any problems with her lifestyle. And after that, she takes the gun and keeps it in Ito's room so he can use it when the time comes. Meanwhile, Ito had no idea about her planning. After some days, Dolly goes to a party with her husband and meet Prick's lawyer. They talk for a while, and when Prick doesn't dance with Dolly, she starts dancing with the lawyer instead. And while dancing, she starts flirting with him. When Prick sees that, he gets angry and takes Dolly home. Later at home, Prick gets angry at Dolly and shouts at her. While Dolly also gets angry and shouts and pretends it is as if her husband would kill her. She makes loud sounds because she knows that Ito will come to save her once he hears her voice. And after a while, Ito comes out with a gun Dolly he had kept in his room. Prick gets shocked to see him. After some time, they fight and Ito shoots Prick with the gun and he dies instantly. After that, there was a sound of gun shooting. Dolly's neighbors must have heard the sound. And that's why they made a plan. Dolly tells Ito to take some money and jewelry and leaves. And before Ito go, he locks Dolly in a room so no one will doubt her. Later, when the police investigate, they find Prick's wallet. And after that, the police officers have doubts about Dolly. However, because they had no evidence against her, they couldn't arrest her. After some time, Dolly wants to get out of the mirror case. She goes to meet the lawyer and pretends that she loves him. And she also gets intimate with him many times. After a few days, the lawyer got serious about the relationship. She continues her plan, shows him her gun, and says she has this gun was for her safety. However, now she doesn't need it because he is there for her protection. After that, she gives him her gun so he can throw it somewhere safe. After Sunday, Dolly gets her insurance money and stays at home. Ito also comes back after a few days. And after that, Dolly shifts to California with Ito and starts living there. Meanwhile, she was bothered about her secret, and that's why she started meeting the rich and influential people of the city. And she starts her affairs with many of them. One day she meets a man. She was very comfortable with him. She had started an affair with him. Meanwhile, Ito was upset with Dolly's behavior. And that's why he tells Dolly to stop all the affairs. And Dolly replies that whatever she is doing it for them. And now Ito understands that Dolly has used him. However, he doesn't have any other way out. And he is forced to stay with Dolly. After 7 days. The lawyer discovers Dolly has cheated on him and runs away with all the money. And because of that, he gets really angry. And goes to the police station. The lawyer shows a gun to the police officer and tells them to arrest Dolly. And after, the police had a gun which is a murder weapon. They also start out Dolly for the murder of her husband. After that, they start preparing to go to California to arrest Dolly. And when police came to arrest Dolly, her new friend Harmon was with him and he told the police that the gun might belong to Dolly. However, the fingerprints on the gun belonged to the lawyer. And because of that, they can't consider the gun legal evidence against Dolly. When the police heard that, they left. After that, Herman comes to Dolly's house with her and they start dancing. While Ito was watching them, he gets angry and threatens Herman with a knife. He gets scared and leaves. Because Ito couldn't live like that anymore. He calls the police and tells them all the truth. And after that, the police arrested Dolly and Ito. And later, when Harmon finds out about them, he gets really upset. He goes to meet Dolly and after Sunday. When the case goes to court, Dolly saves herself from the case. Because the police have no legal evidence against Dolly. And that's why the court had to let her go. While Ito gets sympathy from the public. Because they believed that Dolly used him and that's why the court let him go. After some time, Ito comes back to his country and breaks his relationship with Dolly. On the other hand, Dolly got married to her last lover and after some time, her husband died.